Ukraine, we have discussed. Remember what? Big red panda sleeps happily reading maps. In Europe, what did we discuss? In Europe, what matters is not conflict areas. Europe does not have much conflict areas. It's the bordering areas. In order to approach Europe, because we have to, with regards to bordering areas, what we have to do is we have to remember mnemonics. And we have given mnemonics, right? Big red panda sleeps happily reading maps. But देख लीजिएगा, ठीक है? And another thing, Chernozem, black soil, that is the reason why Ukraine is called the breadbasket of Europe. And which is another crop that was used, it was sunflower. Another, can we see another crop which is very famous in Ukraine? Huh? Wheat. Wheat is there, breadbasket, another crop. Soybean also, right? Soybean also is produced in copious amount. ठीक है, okay. So Crimea 2014 captured. Most important thing is what is this isthmus called? We discussed yesterday. No, Kerch is here. This isthmus. Somebody asked Pericope Isthmus. We'll remember Pericope Isthmus joins Crimea with Ukraine. Pericope Isthmus joins Crimea with Ukraine, right? Kerch is here. We'll come to Kerch, right? Which are the two important ports here? Sochi, Winter Olympics, right? And Sevastopol, right? Remember this way, Sevastopol. Nobody has watched MI movies, then they won't know Sevastopol. Chalo, theek hai. This is also an important port, but this is not under Russia. Odessa, right? Odessa also is a very important port. Okay, and these are what warm water ports. Okay. Here, Oromia in which country? Ethiopia, right? Another region which is in Ethiopia is in conflict. Tigray, excellent. Wow. Catalonia, Spain. Another region which is in conflict in Spain. That is in Italy. Basque. Excellent. बहुत बढ़िया, Dr. Yala. Right. Mindanao in Philippines. Why? Islamic and Christianity. Right. Crimea, we know it's not Hungary. Obviously, it is Ukraine. Okay. So Kerch, C-U-R-C-H, Kerch. Right. So remember, C for Crimea, U for Ukraine, R for Russia. Right. And it is vertical, like here. Strait of Kerch joins what? Sea of Azov with Black Sea. Okay. Clear? Will not make mistakes over here. Okay. Acha, shallowest sea, will remember, right? And densest sea, Dead Sea. You can, Dead Sea, the reason is that we can flow. And Dead Sea is where? Yes, Israel and Jordan. It's a huge. So have you heard about Dead Sea Scroll? Anybody? Nobody? Homework, just go and try to find out Dead Sea Scroll. You will remember in this way. What are Dead Sea Scroll? For Christianity, for Abrahamic religion, Dead Sea Scroll is of huge significance. Okay. AKB, will remember AKB. So AKB means your Azov, here you have Kerch, and then here you have Black Sea, right? And so this is Crimea, this is Taman Peninsula, and Taman Peninsula is under whose under which country? Russia. Excellent. Okay. Burger countries. Burger countries are which countries? B for black, B for burger. ठीक है? Can you जल्दी से हम लोग इसको रिवाइज कर लेते हैं? Bulgaria. It's Bulgaria. Romania. How do we remember Turkey? Erdogan, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and obviously you have your Romania, right? ठीक है. Burger tea. अच्छा टी, हाँ वो भी कर सकते हैं. Burger tea कर सकते हैं. We can remember it that way also, right? Somebody is having tea and burger. वैसे जाता नहीं है, but हाँ कर सकते हैं. Iced tea and burger खाते हैं, मतलब पीते हैं. ठीक है. Okay. अच्छा, lest I forget, this is important. BMD, Bosphorus, Marmara, Dardanelles. And how do we remember? Obviously, Bosphorus, Black Sea. ठीक है, Black Sea. and it will be connecting to another sea, not another strait. So it will be Sea of Marmara, and Sea of Marmara connects to Dardanelles Strait, and which is the ocean, which is the sea that connects Dardanelles Strait? Aegean Sea. And how do we remember? Aegean, Ionian, and Adriatic. AIA. Aegean, Ionian, and Adriatic. So today we will discuss those seas. वहाँ पर एक बार हो जाएगा, ठीक है? Okay. Gallipoli, remember? Battle of Gallipoli. UPSC might ask question on Dardanelles and could give an option key which is the peninsula that separates your or the peninsula which is conjoins Turkey with, let's say, Aegean Sea. That is Gallipoli. Okay? And Dardanelles Strait is Aegean Sea. And one of the most important choke points, we were discussing choke points now. This is the most important choke points. Bosphorus is not a very important choke point because the predominance of Russia is always there. This is where you see the Western force, right? Turkey is part of which group? NATO, right? It's part of NATO, and you have to also understand that one of the reason for Cuban Missile Crisis was Turkey, because they have kept the missiles over here. Okay, chalo, we'll not go there. So this is the most important choke point, Gallipoli Peninsula, and then there is a Dardanelles Strait. Okay, okay, okay. So this is a clearer diagram, right? Aral Sea, which two countries? Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. How do you remember? How do you? T. Excellent. Turkey side is Turkmenistan, and here you have Tajikistan. Remember, guys, not forget. You'll forget. Kazakhstan, big. Just you have to remember. Then uske niche is Uzbekistan. Then you have your K for Kyrgyzstan, right? So UK, T for your Turkmenistan because near Turkey, and then you have your Tajikistan. And India's base were, like, India had base in which country? Tajikistan, and now it does not have. Homework is try to find the name of the base. UPSC will not ask questions because it's, it was in news, but UPSC will not, because it's on a negative light. So UPSC will not ask that question, right? Okay, Lake Baikal, what is its feature? Importance? Deepest. 20% of the fresh water is found here. Only fresh water? This I do not know. Acha, seals. Okay. Only inland seals are there. Good, excellent. So guys, like, only inland seals are found here, because seals are not found in your inland waters. Seals are found. So do we have seals in the Arctic? Yes, we do have. We have. Remember, if there is polar bear, there has to be a seal. Okay. Okay. Adriatic Sea, does it borders Albania? Does it does? Albania, remember? Mother Teresa, right? Takes the ship and comes to India, right? Actually, she was born in North Macedonia, but she was Albanian in origin. Black Sea, burger में sea नहीं आता है. Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan, obviously, right? Mediterranean Sea, Morocco, yes. Remember. This country, this is the country which is the closest to Strait of Gibraltar. This is the country which is closest to Europe. Which is the second closest to Europe? Second closest to Europe? Tunisia. How do you remember? Somebody told? Malta, yes. That's like what happened in Tunisia. Somebody yesterday mentioned Arab Spring, right? Which year? 2010, right? Okay. Red Sea, Syria, no, because Israel comes in between. Okay. Okay. So here we dove into, but abhi jaldi kar lete. Exclave, Nakhchivan exclave. This is your Zangur. Zangur is Zangezur. This passes through which? Azerbaijan, Iran, and then it goes to obviously it has to pass through Armenia, right? And then it goes to which country? Turkey, right? And which is a corridor that joins Nagorno with Armenia? Lachin corridor. This is your Nagorno. This is your Armenia. This is the. Can you see? Is it visible? ये जो dot है, right? And in 2023, what happened? There was a coup. Like not a coup, sorry. There was, the Azerbaijani government in just one day completed the entire overhaul of the Armenian separatists. 100,000 Armenians traveled this corridor safely to Armenia. Azerbaijan is supported by which country? Turkey. Armenia was supported by which country? Russia. Okay? Okay. Nakhchivan exclave we are done. Which are the other exclaves we have talked about? Russia, Kaliningrad, and there is another Africa में है. Cabinda. ठीक है. Remember in this way, cabbage. Cabbage. ठीक है. Cabinda. ठीक है. Okay. Okay, Georgia, which are the two conflict areas? Abkhazia and Ossetia. Ossetia is here, Abkhazia is here. Abkhazia has border with Black Sea. How do you remember? Abkhazia B, Black Sea B. Remember? Will not forget. Okay? So it is also called the South Caucasus country. Like why, what are the Caucasus? They are the mountain ranges, right? एक बार देख लीजिएगा. Homework, it passes through which country? ठीक है? Homework passes through which country? Very important. ठीक है? Okay. This is the reason why Moldova is in news. Transnistria, right? This is again which country is supporting Transnistria? Russia is supporting. And which are the UPSC's question? Moldova is bordered with two countries. Which are the two countries? Ukraine and obviously Romania. ठीक है? Ukraine and Romania. ठीक है? Excellent. Baltic. हाँ, यहाँ से we deviated but will not deviate. ठीक है? जल्दी से कर लेते हैं. Gulf of Finland, right? What are the three water bodies? Important. Gulf of Finland. Then second, Bothnia. Third, Riga. Yes, you are right. Latvia's capital, Riga. ठीक है? Clear? Will not forget here. ठीक है? So Skagerrak and Kattegat. This is the, I don't like, seriously, I don't know how is pronounced. Not so. This is something which joins this, right? Okay. So which is the exclave over here? This is the exclave. Right? Kaliningrad. ठीक है? Clear? Which are the Nordic countries? Norway, Denmark, and ठीक है? And no, this is no Scandinavian. So we have right. ठीक है? अच्छा, this is Denmark, and what is that strait which is near Greenland? And we will be making mistake over there because Iceland is there. Denmark Strait. Remember that. Like we have discussed in the first class. Here we have Germany, Poland. So Russia's Kaliningrad has border with which two countries? Poland and Lithuania. Now, what is the trick to remember Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia? How do we? ठीक है? Estonia तो वो ऊपर रहेगा. LA comes first. So Latvia and then Lithuania. ठीक है? So here you have Belarus. Belarus blocks Lithuania from being connected with Russia. So have you heard about the fall of the Iron Corridor or Iron Curtain? Do you remember which are the Iron Curtain countries? Homework. Iron Curtain countries. Homework. ठीक है? Homework. ठीक है? So this is GPRS. You are too young to know what a GPRS is. GPRS initially like you have 2G phone में GPRS होता. GPRS for Dell. You remember the countries which surrounds your Baltic Sea. ठीक है? Shall we move next? Excellent. Okay. So Malta is located here. So Malta, is it part of European Union? It is. It is part of obviously a Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea will cover in Africa because that is the time when like we'll discuss in depth. ठीक है? अभी भी like we'll discuss in depth, but then we will understand the geopolitics of Mediterranean also, right? ठीक है? State of Sicily, in order to become a boss, you have to come from Sicily. Okay, Sicily is part of which country? Italy. Sicily is part of which country? Italy. Sardinia is a part of which country? Italy. Sardinia will remember as a sardines, right? So sardines swims in ocean. Actually, they swim in ocean. Okay. So, right. Okay. Which one of the following countries does not border Lithuania? Remember? Ukraine. Ukraine. Okay? Okay. Now we'll start here. And we'll start and we'll try to be very specific. And this is your UPSC PYQ. And this was asked in which year? 24. 24. 24, it was asked. Right. Now, okay. Again, let's see the bordering countries. Guns sent to BSF, right? G for Germany, U for obviously United Kingdom, N for Norway, SE just like SE, N for N for your कहाँ गया? Netherlands कहाँ है? अच्छा Netherlands, D for Denmark, B for your Belgium, S is like this, and F for France. ठीक है? We'll remember gun sent to BSF. We'll remember it in this way. That is the bordering countries of North Sea. Right. Now, we have North Sea over here. Is it directly connected to the Baltic Sea? No. Here we have Baltic Sea. Here we have North Sea. Right. It is not directly connected to North. Both the seas are not directly connected. It is connected by two straits, which is probably for me it's very difficult. Strait and a bay, difficult to pronounce. One is this Skagerrak Strait and Kattegat Bay. Right. Skagerrak Strait and Kattegat Bay, right? Okay. Now, important areas, very important areas. Strait of Dover. UPSC has asked a question, right? It is also called Dover Strait. Dover Strait is one of the strategically important places in your Western Europe. Okay. Many rivers flows into it. Homework. Which river flows into Dover Strait? Yes, Rhine, right? This is your English Channel, right? Right? This is your English Channel. This is your Celtic Sea, and then here you have your Irish Sea. Remember that question that Normandy, we discussed Normandy, Norman, will not go into that. Normandy, right? Now, where is Normandy? It is in France. Excellent. This section, Normandy is where? Normandy is here, right? And the invasion, the French. Actually, if you see the French, the lineage of the UK kings, right, and queens are all French lineages, all French, right? And this is probably will be astonishing for most of you. If you see, like Europe had, it's not just in UK. We remember, it had kings and queens across Europe, and they married kings and queens. Queen Elizabeth का husband कौन से? He belonged to which country? Queen Elizabeth's husband. Germany. Right. And even like Tsar Nicholas. Remember Tsar Nicholas, who was assassinated in which year? Tsar Nicholas. Russian Revolution, you are right. No, after that. Homework, 1921 or 22, just check लीजिएगा. So he had relations with your English monarch. Okay, through marriage, through matrimony, right? So now coming back to the point. So here you have the region called Normandy, and here you have obviously your UK, and UPSC has asked about Normandy, right? Strait of Dover they have not. Strait of Dover they have asked. English Channel they will not ask because the name is there. English Channel. They might ask which country is divided by English Channel. ठीक है. France and UK. ठीक है. अच्छा. there are two islands over here, very important islands, Shetland and Orkney Islands. These are not habited, they are inhabited islands, Shetland and Orkney, right? Just remember this, UPC will, because they have a fascination for these islands in the European countries. We'll see Balearic Islands, they have asked, right? They have asked islands in your Mediterranean, right? Mallorca, it's pronounced as Mallorca, right? Right, we'll come to that, right? So remember, so they have a fascination for islands in Europe, so we'll prepare Shetland Island and Orkney. There is a Faroe Island also, very important. Faroe Island. We'll read about Faroe Island, yes. It is not like it will be Iceland northern side. साउथ ईस्ट होगा, साउथ ईस्ट, ठीक है, एक बार देखना होगा, राइट? एंड व्हाई फेरो आइलैंड इज वेरी फेमस? अच्छा, दिस आई डिड नॉट नो. वी नो डेनमार्क, but we know Greenland, but we have to know Faroe Island also. Same governance structure, right? Denmark not only have administrative power over Greenland, it has also administrative power over Faroe Islands, right? Faroe Island comes under Denmark, but they are not part of EU. ठीक है? You'll remember they are not part of EU. ठीक है? Okay. Shall we move on to the next? एक बार इसको solve करते हैं. We have guns sent to BSF, right? देखते हैं. Which one can we eliminate? Russia, gun sent to BSF, वहाँ पर R नहीं है, right? ठीक है? So, gun sent to BSF, F है उसमें? F is not there. Guns? अच्छा, gun sent to BSF. F is for France, sorry. F is there, but it is for France. Finland तो वहाँ पर है, like it's beyond that region, right? तो हाँ, right. So your Finland goes away, your Russia goes away. Is Norway and Germany there? Yes, Norway and Germany there. So answer will be only 2. ठीक है? Okay. Now Norwegian Sea. We have done North Sea. एक बार Norwegian Sea भी देख लेते हैं. ठीक है? Just remember this. Very easy mnemonics. Very easy mnemonics. Nice ice green sea. Nice ice green sea. Right? N for Norway. Ice for Iceland. Green for Greenland, C for North Sea. Nice ice green sea. We'll remember Norwegian, right? एक बार उसको मैप में देख लेते हैं. We'll check in the map. So this is your Norwegian Sea, right? Nice ice green sea, right? So Norway, nice, right? Iceland, ice. Here you have green, Greenland, green, and then C is for what? C is for North Sea. Where is North Sea? देखिए North Sea कहाँ पर है? Here you have North Sea. Here you have North Sea. ठीक है? Clear? Will remember nice ice, green sea. ठीक है? Okay. ठीक है? एक बार इसको भी रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. Shall we revise the seas around in the Arctic? Okay? Okay. करते हैं. So start with Beaufort. Then you have Chukchi Sea. Here we have Bering Strait. Remember Bering Strait, right? Chukchi Sea, East Siberian Sea, we'll know that East Siberian Sea will always be with Russia. We'll not forget that. ठीक है? Then you have Laptev. Can we guess with this EV that will be part of your Russia? Can we guess? Yes, of course we can guess. Then you have Kara, Bering Sea. Then you have your Greenland Sea, ठीक है? There were a couple of sea more also. Then you have your Baffin Bay, ठीक है? And you have your Davis Strait. We remember Baffin Bay and Davis Strait separated which two countries? Canada and Greenland, ठीक है? Excellent. And which is the current which brings Labrador current, ठीक है? And is it a cold current, ठीक है? Okay. अच्छा, let's say this is again very important. This is your Bering Strait, ठीक है? This is your Siberia and this is your Alaska. From here, this is all revision going on. You will never forget. If अगर ऐसा question आता है ना, you will never not forget. Right? Bering Strait. What passes through Bering Strait? Ideal. Which are the two islands which crosses Ideal? No. Diomede. Nome and Anadyr. Anadyr is in Siberia. Nome is in Alaska. Two islands, I told you. Big island is with Russia because bigger area. Chota island is with your USA because chota. Okay. Now from here your Ideal is passing. Let's say Varalakshmi is here. Let's say on Monday. Right? Let's say that she says that, chalo theek hai, I'm here on Monday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and I want to have a cup of coffee. Let's go here. So this is Alaska. Right? Let's say. So from, it is Monday. So this will be which date?
Friday.
West to east, against Saturday. Excellent. Not forget? ठीक है. Varalakshmi, parcel me some coffee. ठीक है. From there. Okay. ठीक है. This is very important. Cyprus. First, we'll understand the geopolitics of it, and then we'll understand the geography of it. Geopolitics. It's a very small island, insignificant small island, and Prime Minister of India chooses to visit Cyprus. Can anybody tell me two reasons? I don't want one reason. Everybody can tell me one reason. I need two reasons. That is excellent. Turkey's support to Pakistan during Operation Sindoor and eternal support so yes, you are right. So not only Turkey's support to Pakistan, but Turkey does not in UN and in other international fora, it always goes against India. Abhi why it goes against India? The best person to know is burger ke jo E hai, ठीक है, Erdogan, right? We don't know. Now, this is one reason. What is the second reason? That one reason, as you have said, keep Pakistan's unconditional support of Turkey along with which another country? Azerbaijan, right? This is one reason. What is the other reason? No, I'm saying that why Prime Minister visited. We'll come to that. You are right. Why Prime Minister visited Cyprus, which is again like it's inconsequential. Have you heard this term? It will play a very major role with right. It will play a very major role with regards to your joining Europe, right? Another important feature you have to understand about. So these are the primary two reasons. Abhi dekho, like when Prime Minister visits a country, right? It does not. Where does the information comes from? The first information is released by the Prime Minister's office, PMO, right? After PMO, it is your who? Right, MEA, right? And then PIB. So this is the sequence of their information transfer, right? But the problem, like the thing is that nowhere they give reasons that, the Prime Minister is visiting Cyprus because it is against India. Like Turkey is against India, right? So we have to deduce. This is more for your mains, not for your prelims. Prelims में ऐसा questions नहीं आएंगे. But prelims में क्या question आएंगे? This is a very important conflict area. Very important. We are discussing the geopolitics. It is a very important conflict area because Cyprus is this island, right? So it is divided in between, right? And which is the country occupying the north? Turkey. They have a claim of Cyprus, right? So Cypriot Turkeys, like they have claim for the northern part, like they have established themselves, right? And obviously your Cyprus, they have the control of the southern part. Now, another important thing, this is the only country where, what is the capital of Cyprus? Nicosia. This is the only country where the capital is divided into two halves by United Nations through a green line. Through a green line, yes, it is divided into, like, through a green line in the sense वो green line नहीं है वहाँ पर, but like basically it is Korea of Europe. Chandigarh of Europe, yes, and Korea of Europe also, which is a parallel we discuss about Korea dividing to 38th parallel. You are right, Chandigarh also, Korea also. Okay, this is Korea of Europe. This is well said. Now, so United Nations, the world's only divided capital city. Now let's go to the history of it. Okay, which was another capital that was divided previously but reunified. Berlin, right? East and West. East and West. It was divided into East and West. Okay. Okay. Now let's come to the geography of it. Geographically, Cyprus is in Asia. Geographically, I'm talking about. But politically, it is part of Europe, right? And is it a part of European Union? It is a part of European Union, right? It is a part of European Union. Can we say that here there is an aberration because one of the reason why a country can join European Union is that there should be a political stability. Here we don't have a political stability, right? Because there is a concerning, there is an occupation of Turkey, but still Cyprus is part of European Union. Okay? So what are the maritime neighbors? Turkey, Syria and Lebanon, right? And UPSC has asked a question. UPSC has asked a question on this. I'll come to the question, right? So geographically located in Asia, but it is a member of the European Union, right? And it is the third largest island in the Mediterranean Sea after Sicily and Sardinia. Sicily and Sardinia belongs to which country again? It belongs to Italy, right? Sicily, mafia, Sardinia is your fish. Okay? Okay. Okay, now this question. Why? So like we know Cyprus cannot be a border because it's an island. वो तो नहीं होगा. Why option D is incorrect? Turkey, Syria, Iraq and Yemen. हाँ? मतलब Yemen कहाँ? अब देखो Yemen it has its coastline with which water body? Huh? No, so like we have the entire Arabian Sea. It has a border with Arabian Sea. It has nothing to do with which area. It has nothing to do with Red Sea, right? Mediterranean, right? Right. Why option C is incorrect? Because Cyprus is mentioned over here. Cyprus is in. Why option B is incorrect? Lebanon, Syria, Turkey, and Jordan. This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. Why? Which country is an odd one out? ऐसे याद रखो. Jordan, there is a famous river. There is a famous Jordan river, and there is a famous sea, Dead Sea, right? Another thing, remember it in this way that there is a Sea of Galilee. Remember it in that way, right? It is there near your Jordan, right? And remember it in this way also, which is the other part of Israeli conflict area. One is to Gaza, the other is West Bank. Why the name is West Bank? What is the reason it's called West Bank? Yes, you are right. West side of which river? Jordan River. So hence it's called West Bank, right? So remember it in this way. So Jordan. Syria में recently like they have bombed. ठीक है, Syria does border. अच्छा, another reason why Syria and Israel, which is the area which is captured by Israel of Syria, excellent, Golan Heights. The present leader of Syria, Jolani or Golani, comes from this area, and hence it's called. His name is like in those, like not those days, like in Middle East, people who belongs to that area, right? They have their surname associated with it, right? For example, Jesus का surname Christ नहीं है, ठीक है? How initially, like how Jesus was recognized, like Jesus was recognized by which surname? Not surname, another term, huh? Jesus of Nazareth, right? Nazareth is the place where he comes from. Chalo, we'll not go there. लेबनान हिजबुल्लाह गिराता रहता है बॉम्ब, ठीक है, रिमेंबर इन दैट वे, ठीक है, ओके. अच्छा, इजिप्ट, very famous like Egypt because like we've seen that yes, that means many corridors. Remember the corridors with Egypt. Haifa वो देखना होगा, I have to verify. When we'll do Israel, we'll know many corridors are separating your Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia corridor, right? There are other corridors also. So these corridors bring in things to your Gaza region, right? Blue line है, right? अच्छा, very good question. When we'll do West Asia, Lebanon and Israel does not have a United Nations recognized border. The thing that is that separates these two countries is the blue line, right? Good, ठीक है, okay. France, ठीक है. What is this region? This Normandy, right? We'll not forget Normandy, ठीक है. Now, let's see the water bodies, ठीक है. Here we have our English Channel, easy. This we did not discuss. Bay of Biscay, very important. Your homework, which are the rivers that flows into Bay of Biscay, ठीक है. Homework, Bay of Biscay, which rivers flows into, because again, it's too many rivers are there, right? And I will ask on Monday, which river flows into Bay of Biscay, ठीक है. Then obviously we have here Mediterranean Sea, right? We have Mediterranean Sea. So 3 water bodies we can remember: your English Channel, your Bay of Biscay, and Mediterranean Sea. Now people will say that, sir, ye Bay of Biscay, English Channel is part of Atlantic Ocean. UPSC will not ask that France borders which ocean. It's very easy. They will go into specificity, that is Bay of Biscay and English Channel. English Channel they might not, but Bay of Biscay they can ask. Now, let's see the bordering countries. It shares bordering countries with 8 countries. 8 countries. So in Europe, apart from Asia, apart from Russia, which country has the largest, or which shares border with the largest number of countries? Germany, 9 countries. France, 8 countries. Overseas territory, you are also right. If you consider overseas territory, probably it would be. But mainland Europe, if I'm talking about, mainland Europe, you have your Germany with 9 countries. Okay. And which was the overseas department that we remembered of France? Overseas department of France? French Guiana, right? Or Guyana, हाँ. ठीक है. ठीक है. So, ठीक है. एक mnemonics है. It's a very funny mnemonics. I'll tell you the mnemonics. Look, everybody has their own mnemonics. I remember it in this way, but it might be funny, right? Right. Begum Sesam, right? It's very funny, but you remember by making this funny, and so Begum is for Belgium, B for Belgium, right? G for what? Obviously Germany. UM for Luxembourg. Luxembourg, ये छोटा सा कंट्री है, ठीक है, Luxembourg, right? So L से नहीं हो रहा था, ठीक है, तो UM Luxembourg, ठीक है. S is for Switzerland. Where is Switzerland? Here you have Switzerland. Here you have Switzerland, right? I, here you have your I. I is for which country? Italy, obviously, right? Then another S for Spain, right? A for Andorra. We'll talk about Andorra. And M is for which country? Finally, M is for Monaco. So Monaco again here, Monaco, ठीक है? Monaco, ठीक है? Monaco जो बिस्किट है, right? So remember this way. Begum Sisam, right? It was funny, that's the reason why I did not put it, but if you can remember in this way, you can remember. Okay. Now, let's discuss Andorra. They might ask questions on Andorra and Monaco. Okay. Andorra is your, here you have your Andorra. Okay. Andorra, the mistake that we make is that it is completely within France. It is not. Which are the two countries which are within another country? Lesotho within which country? When we'll be doing Africa, South Africa, and another. There is another country, okay. So like it's not completely within South Africa. I think it shares borders. वो देखना होगा. Vatican City. That is within which country? Rome, Italy. Okay. The mistake that student does, right, is this thing that Andorra is within France. No. It is shared by which two countries? It is shared by Spain and France. Remember this. It is shared by Spain and France, right? Now Monaco. Monaco is the same again. It is shared by which two countries? Monaco. Monaco is shared by France and Italy. You will remember this, right? Another way to remember, Monaco is famous for what? F1 race. वहाँ पर ना उनके रास्ते पर मतलब F1 रेस होता है, जैसे ORN में जो F1 रेस होते हैं, ठीक है? You have seen ना people racing in, huh? On Activa. अरे I have seen people like मतलब I don't know, like it depends from car to car. Like if you are driving I-20 तो मतलब वो ठीक है धीमे चलेंगे. The moment you graduate to let's say Mercedes, हाँ Fortuner, फिर तो उनका अलग ही तेवर चलता है. चलो. हाँ. So no, so in this map it's very small, ना? तो मतलब अभी border है, मतलब border, there is a border. Vatican City. So technically we would not say it's a country, right? But it is a city-state, right? It is a city-state which is located within Rome, and is the seat of what? Catholic religion or Pope. Okay. Okay. So now this island, Corsica, why it is famous? Why Corsica is famous? Who was born? Corsica क्या? Bonaparte was born. Tamasha. From is shot in Corsica. Tamasha movie. Acha, Tamasha movie is like a famous movie. Acha, Bollywood movie. Acha, who is there? Who is acting there? Oh, Imtiaz Ali. Like, huh? Okay. That I love Imtiaz Ali. What happened? No, वो तो like it says it's about what Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. अच्छा, what happens in Corsica? ठीक है, चलो. So Corsica, it is famous because Bonaparte was born here, right? So UPSC might ask a question that where is Corsica, under whose domain is Corsica, or under whose sovereignty? Obviously, it is under the French sovereignty. How many of you like to write? Love to write? Right, you love. Okay. Have you heard about this pen, Mont Blanc? Right, Mont Blanc, one of the costliest pen. Was fortunate somebody gifted me this pen, but like I don't have money to buy this such costly pen. Right, it's Mont Blanc pen, and you have, this is the highest peak of Alps. Now your homework, and it's all there in the PDF that I have shared. मिला है आपको ये वाला? अच्छा, ये वाला PDF नहीं मिला होगा शायद. You have gotten. So, your job is to find out Alps or Dinaric Alps. It passes through which country? Okay, job. Please do that. And UPSC might ask questions, and also see that which rivers originate from Alps and Dinaric Alps. Okay, excellent. There is a Volga hai, Vosges. There is this Vosges also, right? So Volga, वोल्गा तो वो रशिया में होगा ना, नियर रशिया। हाँ हाँ, उसको थोड़ा देखना होगा, वी हैव टू मैप इट, ठीक है, ओके। अच्छा, this is important. Longest river is your Loire River. Now, this is important because Loire River is the longest in France. ठीक है, ठीक है. And Paris is situated in which river? Seine, Seine, Seine. Paris is located under Seine. If you have seen the document, na, I have given those important rivers and important cities. Important rivers and important cities. बहुत important है, ठीक है? Like they can ask questions. ठीक है? ठीक है. Shall we move on to the next one? ठीक है. अच्छा, so Corsica lies. So this is your which island? Mafioso? Sicily. And this is Corsica. ठीक है? Now let's come to Germany. अभी इसका मेरा पास I don't have the mnemonics. I'll try to frame up mnemonics. But obviously, like, it's a country which is the largest number share. It shares border with a large number of countries, right? So you have your Germany. So Denmark, Poland, Czech Republic, Austria, Switzerland, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands. ठीक है? So you have to memorize this. Again, like Europe, you know, if UPSC can ask a question on 32 countries of NATO, ठीक है, your guess is as good as mine, right? So they can ask a question here. Why it is in the news? It is in the news because Germany's chancellor has visited India, right? And chancellor in the sense like their president, ठीक है, okay, ठीक है. So what are the rivers? एक बार देख लेते हैं. North Sea, obviously we remember what was the mnemonics of North Sea? Guns and to BSF, right? Okay, now Germany shares the borders with 9 countries, which is the highest in Europe, right? Danube, we discussed Danube. Why Danube is famous? It passes through how many countries? 12, 10 countries. It passes through 10 countries, Danube, right? And we have discussed about this cake also. Germany's Black Forest. So from Danube originates from where? Germany's Black Forest. And where is this? Can anybody tell me where is this Black Forest? Yesterday we discussed. Here, this is the region. This is the region. This is the region. Okay. Is it part of France? No, it is not part of France. Right? Black Forest, because it's very dense forest. Right? It's a very dense forest. Pardon? Yeah, so it is in southwest. Southwest. So Germany, this is southwest. From here, your Danube starts. 10 countries. And Danube flows into which river? Which ocean? Black Sea. So here it makes a journey till there. Okay? Okay. Another homework, Rhine and Elbe. Please try to see through which countries it passes through. Important cities. Okay? Okay. Again, Spain, 2026 marks 70 years of diplomatic relations between India and Spain. Right? 70 years, important. And on top of that, Spain's, I think, Prime Minister visited India. Something like that. Okay? That also makes it important. Now, let's understand this properly. Now, Spain is a bit tricky, right? It was a colonial power and, you know, like many things are happening in Spain, right? First, can anybody tell me this particular river, Tagus River, UPSC might ask a question. Why is it important? Like, how is it related or connected with India? Tagus River. I will give you a hint. The hint is 1498. Yes. So basically, like, your Tagus river is this. So Vasco da Gama started its journey towards India from this Tagus River. And if you see, there is a bridge which connects across the banks of Tagus River. That bridge is named as Vasco da Gama Bridge. Okay. Now, let's see the bordering countries. Bordering countries is not very difficult to remember because Portugal, France, Andorra. Remember Andorra? Right. And this is the tricky part. UPSC might frame question from here. Gibraltar, UK. This is not Strait of Gibraltar. Where is this Gibraltar situated? This area within Spain. This is important because it is, can you tell me why it is important? Conflict. It is an exclave to a degree, it's an exclave, conflict. Right. And you know what is a fascinating thing about this conflict? This Gibraltar, obviously here you have your Strait of Gibraltar. Okay? Here you have your Strait of Gibraltar. UPSC might frame a question that UK overseas territory Gibraltar is in Africa. Is it so? It is not in Africa. It is where? It is in Spain, that is in Europe. Right? Recently there was a referendum, over 70% of the people said that they wanted to stay with which country? UK. They wanted to stay with UK. Okay. Now, we remember two factions where like the conflict regions, Basque and what was the other region where there was conflict? Barcelona is the capital in Spain. Catalonia. So this is the region. This is the region. Barcelona. Okay? Barcelona. Again, it's very important to understand these areas because UPSC, these are all PYQs. Like I can tell you about Girona. Football club hai. Important hai UPSC ke point of view se? No, it's not important. But Barcelona is important because UPSC has asked question on Catalonia, not once, twice. Basque region is where? Basque region is here. Right? Yeah, uska thoda upar hoga. ठीक है? ठीक है? Clear? These are the two conflict region. How you spell Basque? SQUE. Right? And obviously like Catalonia, you know that. Right? Now, there are two islands, two regions, Melilla and Ceuta. Melilla and Ceuta. These are what of Spain? These are exclaves of Spain. Exclaves of Spain. Melilla and Ceuta. Okay? Melilla and Ceuta. These are exclaves of Spain. And they are situated in which continent? They are situated in Africa. Excellent. They are situated in Africa. And which country they are situated? Around which country? Morocco. Did we not say that Morocco is the closest to Europe? This is the reason. This is Morocco. Okay? Its capital is Rabat. Okay? Another important thing. We have two sets of islands. In Spain, UPSC has asked questions last year. Which are the islands? Anybody? One is Balearic Island. We'll discuss all the four islands. The other is Canary Islands. So this is your Canary Island. We will do when? We will do on Monday when we discuss Africa. Balearic Island will be, I'll show you. Yeah, here. This is your Balearic Island. Will not forget, right? There are four islands in Balearic Island. I'll tell you easy way to remember. Major, minor. Okay? Major is Mallorca. Mallorca. Actually, it means major, minor. Right? It's pronounced as not Mallorca, it's Mallorca. Right? And Menorca. So this is your Menorca. Ibiza. It's not Ibiza. It's Ibiza. Why Ibiza is famous? Yes, somebody gesture. It's like, again, it's a nightlife. Like Ibiza, people go to Ibiza for vacationing. Right? And then, it is important, you have your Formentera also, which you basically will not ask, is an insignificant. Again, another way to remember Mallorca is of Spain. Can anybody tell me? How can you remember Mallorca belongs to Spain? Who is a very famous tennis player, blonde tennis player who was born in Mallorca in 1986. Roger Federer is Switzerland. Roger Federer, yes, is Bettenauer. Bettenauer is a rival. Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal was born here in Mallorca, right? And he has won how many majors? 22 majors. Remember, major is Grand Slam. 22 major, remember that way, 22 major. Major means Mallorca. Mallorca, he belongs to Spain. ठीक है, ठीक है, we'll remember in that way. ठीक है, okay. Now, so Pyrenees mountain natural border with France. So where is this Pyrenees mountain? So here you have your Pyrenees mountain. ठीक है, will not forget, right? The entire this region is called what? What peninsula? Iberian Peninsula. Iberian Peninsula has how many countries? Three countries. Now, this is good. Excellent. People will say that Iberian Peninsula has 2 countries. No, it has 3 countries. Andorra is also there. Andorra is a part of France. We'll remember this. Not forget. ठीक है. Right. So, Ceuta is a Spanish enclave in North Africa and Melilla is a Spanish enclave in North Africa. ठीक है? Okay. This question. Where are the Balearic Islands located? Balearic Islands. These are Balearic Islands. Menorca, Mallorca, then Ibiza and your Formentera. Right? Menorca, Rafael Nadal is having a nice vacation at Ibiza, and after that he goes to a very depressing place called Formentera. Okay, remember in this way, right? So these are all, this is a Balearic Island, okay? Obviously Mallorca is major, is the largest, okay? Shall we move? Okay, abhi ho gaya hai, like this, dekho. Like just see how many questions have come from Spain. Catalonia, Spain, is it correct? Absolutely. Crimea area, we discussed this, Crimea, Hungary is not. Obviously, it's your, which country? Ukraine. Mindanao, Philippines, it's correct. Oromia, Ethiopia. Okay. So Nigeria, the question, does Nigeria have any conflict area? It has. No, that is a group. You're right. Boko Haram is a group, right? It is very active over there, right? But is there a conflict area? We'll find out on Monday. This question, 2022. Anatolia, Turkey. Amhara, Ethiopia. Cabo Delgado, Spain. Catalonia, Italy. Which is incorrect? Pehle bataiye, which is incorrect? 4th is incorrect. Absolutely incorrect because it is Spain. ठीक है? Cabo Delgado. Cabo Delgado where? Look, the moment it is Cabo, na, people will go for Spain. But it is not in Spain. It is in Africa. Right? Which country in Africa? Homework. Amhara, Ethiopia, is it correct? I'll give you a hint. Cabo Delgado is near an island. ठीक है? Mozambique. ठीक है? Go and try to locate Cabo Delgado. And why it's named Cabo? Because it was under Spanish occupation. Will you remember that? Okay. Amhara is where? Ethiopia. Anatolia, Amhara is in Ethiopia. ये एक बार चेक करना होगा मुझे. I'm not sure, guys. Amhara I have to check. I'm not sure. I have to check. ठीक है? Anatolia, Turkey. Anatolia, that entire. So is it only Turkey? Anatolia region, is it only Turkey? Huh? Amhara is? It's North Ethiopia, na? ठीक है. Excellent. So check out the other countries of Anatolia. And UPSC had asked 2 questions on Anatolia. ठीक है? Okay. This question. Which one of the following cities they were in news in recent is not correctly matched? देखो 2004 में पूछा था cities, and then they have asked in 2018 also, 25 also, Sardinia, Bordeaux, right? So you see, like, this is PYQ. This is the magic of PYQ. If you do this, na, like, you don't have to do arbitrary things. Matlab, this 2 hours, give me 2 hours and telling you, like, will not get a single question incorrect. Bruges, Belgium, is it correct? It is absolutely correct. It's a very nice place to visit. If somebody visits, tell me how nice it is. I have heard. I don't know. I have not visited. Cancun, is it in Mexico? It is in Mexico. This is a kind of a visit, like vacation places, right? Like in during the winters, the US people go to Cancun, right? Cannes, is it in Italy? It is in France, and it is known for what? Which festival? Cannes Festival. And everybody knows about the festival. लेकिन जो movies जाते हैं, nobody watches those movies. Cannes Festival movies, right? Okay. Salamanca, is it in Spain? Salamanca brothers, it is in Spain. Salamanca is in Spain, right? Now, obviously, look, 2023, this was 2020, 2004. Let's solve 2003 question. The Basque people who are frequent in the news for their separatist activity live in Spain. Now, they have asked again this year, 25, they have asked. Mallorca will be where? Spain. Normandy? Sardinia? Answer? None. Yes. Hmm.
If we know one or two options, if we don't know one or two, then how should we go
Very,
for it?
we should. Like thumb rule is, if you know for sure 50% of the answer, solve it.
But then the options are only one, only two.
There is, like for every subject there is a logic. I'm not telling trick. Trick का मतलब है YouTube में they will say that मतलब अगर ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चन आता है ना, वो मतलब परसेंटेज वाइज देखिए तो ओनली 2 ही होता है. ऐसे कुछ नहीं है. लाइक वी हैव सीन ना, ऑल ऑफ देम आर इनकरेक्ट in 2025 also. Like why let's understand. She has asked a very valid question. In 2025 they have mentioned all the options incorrect. Is UPSC not following those stupid YouTubers who say and mislead students by saying कि ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चन पे ना आप only 2 जाकर मार्क करो. हाँ तीन होएगा तो ओनली 1 होएगा, ठीक है. इसका कुछ मतलब नहीं है. लाइक दिस इज प्लेइंग विथ योर फ्यूचर. एंड जस्ट रिमेंबर, इट्स नॉट दैट 2 marks you are losing. Is that another 0.33 that you're sacrificing? That is not your fault. Let's say that you know a question and you know for sure, you mark that question and you get 2 marks. And then the another question you are doing, that is like, so you have studied something. Let's understand this. And if you remember, understand the logic of it, na, then trust me, you will not watch such stupid videos. Hard work का ना कोई like replacement supplement नहीं होता है, ठीक है. देखो, let's say that you have solved this question, you know this question, you have studied, you have worked hard, you have studied and you got this question correct. So you get how much marks over here? You get obviously your 2 marks, right? Now this question comes, you're not sure, this only 1 only 2 wala, you have watched this YouTube and he has suggested or she has suggested कि ऐसे वाले question पे only 1 आएगा. तो it is your decision to follow her or him, and based on his or her advice you have taken this decision where you get this question incorrect, ठीक है. So 0.33 is deducted, right? So this is on you, you have decided. But that 0.33 affects what? This 0.33 affects what? That 2. That is not your fault. Because for this, you have actually, ये यहाँ पर बैठकर आप क्लास कर रहे हो. The point here is this, if you follow these kind of tricks, ना, तो the percentage of ऐसे वाले mistakes will keep on rising. The lesson is very simple. Don't follow tricks. Logic है. So logic is what? As in your case. So for example, let's like we are discussing places in news. First of all, वो only मतलब सिर्फ only 1 होएगा, सिर्फ only 2 होएगा, will not go by that. मान लीजिए कि there are 3 options. You have successfully eliminated 2 options, right? Then try to do this first principle thinking where can you relate the language of the terms, ठीक है? Can you see, like can you eliminate based on the terminologies, ठीक है? You use that. Even if you even if you let's say that उससे भी नहीं हो रहा है, right? Then you mark it like depending on your gut feeling. Go by your gut feeling because you've been preparing for some time, right? I'll give you, so like basically like 35 questions तो like आने वाले हैं. Like if you prepare well, 30 to 35 questions आने वाले हैं, right? Then the problem we'll be facing with which set of questions? Those 65 questions, right? 65 questions. 65 questions will. Now, usually what student or other people say that कि यहाँ से तो like 10 questions छोड़ ही दो, ठीक है, आपका फाइटिंग 50, नो कुछ छोड़ना नहीं है, ठीक है. इफ यू यूज योर लॉजिक विल like those 65 are solvable. हाँ, उसमें गलतियां होंगी, like I'm not saying. Of that 65, if you do qualitative revision, इधर उधर का पढ़ोगे ना फिर नहीं होगा. Do, for example, polity. There are 70-80 chapters. You have to do just 35 chapters very well. Very well. If you continuously revise, then your hit ratio, trust me, will be this. Even if we leave 5 questions, मतलब एकदम difficult है, we can't do it, right? Right. So 40:20, which is a very good. और इतना आसान नहीं है. It's not that easy, right? It has to be properly strategized. Strategized in the sense, if you do things like मतलब yesterday somebody was asking me that, sir, like मुझे जैन करना है या PD करना है, something like that, right? One of my students said that, sir, एक काम करता हूँ sir, I'll do मुझे जैन and then I will do PT also. See the weightage of your current affairs. I told you, I'm repeating myself, right? I was part of that team, right? Its essence is going down every passing year. Probably this year might be an exception. They might like pick up the number of current affairs, and these coaching institutes will claim, अरे देखो यहाँ से है. But you have to see the basic thing is history is वहाँ पर कोई current affairs है नहीं है. Geography में पॉली क्या current affairs है? If you see 55 to 60 50 to 60 questions are from your static portion. If that is from your static portion, why shouldn't we focus on the static portion? In economy, why should we not focus on those 5 or 6 areas? Money, banking, your national income, why your budget, your international trade, these 4 or 5 topics. Why shouldn't we do these again and again and again? Parliament, every year 2 question comes. ठीक है, president, governor, question comes. Fundamental rights, like I can give you now 15 chapters in your polity from where you will be getting 7. And this is not I'm predicting. ये तो you can also do it ना, ये rocket science हो रही है. The point here is this, we have to read polity. So what we do is that we focus on election chapter. And that is important for your what means, right? So the point here is this is the time when you have to consolidate, know those areas, right? I'll give an example. So science and tech, right? Now science and tech, what we do? Science and tech, the basic thing that we do is that we refer to current affairs because we think that science and tech current affairs से ही आते हैं. अब just go and check the question that if you don't have basic knowledge, right, you cannot solve science and tech के questions, right? You have to do your PYQs. आपको CDS करना है, CDS के questions करने हैं. Like, and when we'll be taking the sessions, we'll be having CDS questions also, right? The moment you select those areas, for example, every year space से question आता है. Every year space question will come. Right, so you know that domain कि space से questions आएंगे. So what do? You do your PYQ, CDS and UPSC. Then you do basic level of your current affairs. That's it. So you go to the examination center with this knowledge that I know that from space one question will come. I will be able to solve it. Right. Similarly in polity, 14 or 15 questions come this year. I think 14 or 15 questions came. That could have been easily solved from Lakshmikant. How many questions? Like 11 questions. Right, 11 to 12 questions could have been easily solved. Right. So what do? You do Lakshmikant very well. You go to the examination center with this knowledge that other people are going to appear in 100 questions. I know that my 12 plus 1 space wala question, 13 question तो मुझे आने वाला है, right? And you know, ऐसे ही चलता है, पता है, like mentors and all these people. These are not motivation. Like people know this. People who are giving the third and fourth and serious candidate, they know this silently they're doing these things. A friend of mine, she has never gotten, I tell my students, they have never gotten below 100. When I asked her, like we used to prepare together, when I asked, like, what is your strategy? How do you do that? You know, like my strategy lays on 3 pillars. First is PYQ. 3 months, like 2.5 months before prelims, if I'm studying like 12 hours a day, 10 hours I'll go for static, right? And question solving, intense question solving. This is what she does. And never, that year, deadliest year, 2023, 75 was the cutoff. Primarily again was because of your CSAT. But 75 is not just, can you imagine 75? In that year, she got 102, 103. Abhi dekho. Right? So, less is more. Doing things again and again and again and again will yield this ratio 2:1. This is like a golden ratio. This is the golden ratio, right? Chalo. Okay. Now we were discussing about those, volcanic eruptions. Okay. Okay. So Mount Etna. So it erupted in 2nd June 2025. Right. There is another mount in Africa, with the very famous volcanic eruption that happened in Africa, whose effect was found in India as well. Right. When we'll do Africa, we'll do that particular mountain. Right. So why it is important? UNESCO World Heritage Site. Right. UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have seen why UPSC is asking such questions. And which are the two boundaries? Which are the two boundaries? African and Eurasian. Which boundary is pushing against which boundary? Anybody? Africa is pushing against Eurasia. ठीक है, मतलब आप ऐसे कोई भी प्लेट से नीचे से ना वो ऊपर ही जा रहा है. ठीक है. So African is pushing against Eurasian plate. ठीक है. It's an active volcano, right? And where now this is important. Location is important, right? Sicily. Remember, mafioso, angry, firing. So Sicily, right? So when we'll be doing Africa, then we will be doing the sea wala part, Mediterranean sea wala part, because that will be more relevant over there, right? As of now, which are the three seas we remember in Mediterranean Sea? AIA, which is the three? Adriatic, right? Aegean is on the eastern side, Ionian, and then your Adriatic, right? Okay. So where is this Etna? It is here, right? We'll study about Stromboli also. This is volcano. These are all your active volcanoes. These are all active volcanoes, right? And so this is the largest active volcano in Europe outside the Caucasus region. Caucasus region, which is the Caucasus region? Which is that one country which has predominant Caucasus mountain system? जिसके पास दो ओसेटिया एंड अब्खाज़िया, जॉर्जिया, एक्सीलेंट, जॉर्जिया. ठीक है, ठीक है. I'll not waste your time. जल्दी करते हैं, because Adriatic is something which is important, because this is very confusing. ठीक है, अभी देखो. MBA from ISC. How many are you from ICSE ISC board? ICSE ISC. So ISC is class 12, right? So remember, MBA from ISC, it is important, right? So let's see the map. So Adriatic Sea, we have seen that it's one of the sea in the Mediterranean, right? That region. It's a marginal sea of the Mediterranean Sea, right? Now, this is very important. Remember this. Left-hand side, every part is Italy. Right-hand side, में बाकी बहुत सारे countries हैं. These are all Balkan countries, right? Why Balkan? What is the reason why it's named Balkan? Because of a mountain, Balkan mountains. Right? And there's a very famous term called balkanization. You have heard about balkanization? What does it mean? Division, breaking away. Okay? And this is in Europe, this is one of the fascinating place. If you Caste topography is also there. World War I started where? Here. Okay? If you want to visit Europe, go visit Europe, but not in this region, right? Baltic region. Okay, chalo. Okay. So Italy is in the west, right? Baki jitne bhi countries hai, they are on the other side, on the east side of Adriatic. You will remember this? MBA from ISC. Now let's see the countries. Just a second. Huh. Is it visible? ठीक है. ठीक है. So first remember Strait of Otranto. Very important Strait of Otranto. It connects Adriatic Sea with which sea? AIA. If it's A is Adriatic Sea, then it connects Strait Ionian Sea. Ionian. In Greek mythology, these are Aegean Sea, Ionian Sea. These are very famous sea. Can anybody tell me two Greek epics? Right. So there is this movie coming, Christopher Nolan's movie, right? So you can watch. But yes, Icarus is. Anybody know who was Icarus?
Scientists wanted to get close to the sun and he reached very close, and it's like a metaphor also for it.
It is a metaphor. It's a metaphor of overreach. Overreach. So Icarus' father was what was his name? Daedalus. Right. Icarus' father was Daedalus. So they were imprisoned in a labyrinth. So they want to escape that labyrinth. Right. And so what did Icarus do? He made wings for himself. And what was that wings made of? Wax. Right. And he started flying to labyrinth, you know, वो क्या बोलते हैं जो इसमें अरे वो भूल भुलैया, that kind, right? So he wanted to escape that bhul bhulaiya and he made wings. The wings were made of wax, started flying, and he got too close to the sun and he burned. Obviously, he melted his wings and he fell and he died, right? So that is, and so this is a metaphor for your overreach, right? Metaphor, remember? Comprehension, metaphor. This is a metaphor for overreach, okay? Now, Strait of Otranto, remember, it is with the Ionian Sea, right? Now, we'll remember these states, first states which borders Adriatic Sea, not those which are Balkan states but does not border Aegean Sea. Okay? Okay. We have Albania. Albania, will remember who took the ship to India? Mother Teresa. She is of Albanian descent, right? Second is Montenegro. Montenegro means what? This, if I say in America, I will be imprisoned. But it is true actually. Monte means mountain and Negro is black, right? Monte is mountain and Negro is black, right? And so you'll remember this, not forget. So here you have Albania. Here we have Montenegro. Ye Gulf of Drin, UPSC will not ask. Don't even remember. Bother to remember, right? Then we have Bosnia and Herzegovina, right? Bosnia and Herzegovina. And this is the region. This, ye jo cheez hai, this. What happened in Sarajevo? What happened in Sarajevo? The Duke was shot, that led to World War I. Archduke was shot in Sarajevo and that led to World War I. Remember this. So this is the genesis of what? World War I. This place, Sarajevo. Will not forget, right? Back then it was not Bosnia-Herzegovina because it was in 1992 this Balkanization started. That was, back then it was part of Austro-Hungarian Empire, right? You'll remember this? Okay. So Albania, we have your Montenegro, okay? We have your Bosnia and Herzegovina. And then we have your Croatia. Why Croatia is important? Who visited Croatia recently? Our Honorable Prime Minister, right? He visited Croatia en route to attending G7 summit. He stopped over at Croatia. Now remember this, very fascinating. Croatia, though the land size is less, but it has a very lengthy coastline. It is like, remember this, Croatia, it starts with C. Right? It's like a sea. Right? It's technically like a sea, right? Okay. It's like a sea and it like actually covers a long portion of, like this Adriatic Sea till here. Okay? You'll remember this, right? And remember it in this way also, that Croatia was the first country to come out of which particular country? Yes, Yugoslavia, right? It was the first country to come out of the Balkanization process. And last country which shares border is Slovenia. Who took ship to Slovenia to America? Mrs. Trump. Okay. So there were two people who took the ship, topmost and northeast. Somebody is very noble, got Nobel Prize. Somebody, I don't know, right? Huh? Wife of a Nobel laureate. Remember in that way, wife of a Nobel laureate. Right, come on, like Trump is a Nobel laureate. Oh my God. Right. So Albania, you have your Mother Teresa, right? And then you have your Slovenia, right? They all love to travel. Okay. And in beach mein kya hai? Beach mein you have your Montenegro. Monte means mountain. Negro is black. Then you have Bosnia and Herzegovina, right? How do you remember that? You have your Sarajevo, right? Is a first just the focal point of genesis of World War One, and then Croatia. Remember, Prime Minister visited Croatia. It surrounds Bosnia. It surrounds Bosnia like. Achha, ek minute. I have made a mistake over here. Sorry. Till here, right? It surrounds Bosnia like a sea. It surrounds Bosnia like a sea. Then obviously you have your Slovenia from where this, what is your name? Melania. Okay. Now, so, you will not forget. Now, Serbia, which is a very famous tennis player from Serbia, who won, I think, 25 of Grand Slams, major, Nolan Djokovic. He is from Serbia. We'll remember that. But does Serbia, now this is important, वो ठीक है, वो वहाँ से आता है. But does Serbia have a boundary with the Adriatic Sea? It does not have a boundary with the Adriatic Sea. Right? It does not have a boundary with the Adriatic Sea. Now, here we have Albania, right? नीचे Greece है. This is your North Macedonia. Is North Macedonia part of NATO? Yesterday, North Macedonia is 2018. There was a conflict with Greece. They removed Macedonia. They incorporated North Macedonia. And who was born in Macedonia? Alexander. Macedonia, Alexander. Mother Teresa, Albania. Acha, so sorry, born in, So, right. North Macedonia is famous for two people, right? You have Alexander and your Mother Teresa. Wow. Like one is like for peace and the other is conquering the world. Okay. Yeah, you're right. But Albania, she's of Albanian descent. Okay. Kosovo. Is it a recognized country? Is Kosovo a recognized country? It is not. It is not a recognized country. Okay. And it's one of the, remember this, Albania, Kosovo, they have huge Muslim population in European countries. Okay. Let's see the MBA from ISC, right? ISC. So I is the entire part of Italy is on your left hand side. You'll remember this entire part, Adriatic Sea, entire part is on the left hand side. And MBA, M for Montenegro, right? How we remember Montenegro? Black Mountain, right? MBA, B for Bosnia Herzegovina, right? Bosnia Herzegovina, how do we remember? Sarajevo, right? A for Albania, how do we remember? Mother Teresa took the ship, right? Then I for Italy, S for Slovenia, right? Slovenia, how do we remember? Melania Trump. And C is for Croatia, right? Croatia, how do you remember? Our Prime Minister visited as well as C, and it like almost it captures the Herzegovina. Herzegovina ka na, very less, only this section. This section, it has border with the Adriatic Sea. Now, does it clear up this region, which was a bit complicated, right? Okay. Okay. Acha, Venice is over here. Again, UPSC might ask, Venice is a very, why Venice is famous? Floating city. It is submerging, and what are the other reasons? It's one of the merchant of Venice, it's one of the famous colonial, famous artistic city in the world, right? Back in Europe, right? All kind of arts and all kind of transactionary arts were done here. Okay. Let's see the question. Claims to the historical Macedonia territory have been. Okay. This one. Claims to the historical Macedonian territory have been a bone of contention between which of the following countries? Which we can eliminate. Portugal and Spain, obviously we can. Portugal and C, Romania and Bulgaria we can. So we have Portugal, Greece and Bulgaria, Greece. What will be the answer? B. But Portugal, Portugal is which peninsula? Iberian. Which other two countries in Iberian Peninsula? Spain and Andorra, right? Okay. Stromboli. Stromboli is also called what? This is very important. Stromboli is also called what? lighthouse of the Mediterranean. Lighthouse because it's always spewing volcano and lava. ठीक है, right? Right. So it is where it is in Tyrrhenian Sea. When we'll be doing on Monday, Mediterranean, we'll be doing these seas also, right? It is in Tyrrhenian Sea, right? And so Stromboli is here. It's located over here. So this is Sicily. Obviously, Italy, we have remembered, right? And it's one of the most continuously spewing volcano. Like it's very active. Okay? And which is the two plates that leads to this volcanism? And Africa, which is moving against whom? Eurasia. ठीक है? ठीक है? Right. This is very important. Aeolian volcanic arc. Aeolian. Aeolian comes from which word? Aeolian. It's a Greek word which means wind, god of wind. ठीक है? So where do we again find Aeolian? In which geography? Which area? Landforms, yes. Which landform? Aeolian landforms? Desert. Like wind, it's affected, not desert, sorry. It's affected by the winds, right? Aeolian means that. Aeolian harp, Aeolian means the god of wind. Okay. ठीक है? ठीक है. Okay. Last. Okay. Oakjokul Glacier. Now, Oakjokul, actually, OK जो है ना, वो OK ही है. Actually, this is an English term, OK. OK and then Jokul Glacier. But that's not important. Why it is important? First of all, it is important because it is in Iceland, western part of Iceland. Second, why it is important, that it has been like first glacier to be officially declared as dead. Right. Now, what is the definition of a glacier? Because of its weight, glacier moves. Like we say, na, glacial space se move kar raha hai. One of the characteristics of being called a glacier that it has to move because it has lost so much of its ice, right? It does not have that weight and hence it cannot move, and hence it is considered as dead. Okay, right? And another important thing, so it is it's located in Western Island. Acha, Faroe Island we discussed, right? We did not discuss one thing about Faroe Island. Do you remember we have discussed about GI-UK gap? Greenland, Iceland and UK, right? So Faroe Island, so this gap, Faroe Island is situated in this GI-UK gap. Okay? So this is just not the gap, this is also a gap, right? Okay? So Faroe Island is, and we discussed that it is an autonomous territory of Denmark, like Greenland, and they are not part of European Union. Okay? So your Europe is done. ठीक है?